The elephant in the room when talking about Ironheart is always price, and rightfully so. When you have a product that's that much more expensive than most other products in a specific space, I think it makes sense to question that price. And price is one of the reasons why I had never owned an Ironheart product until recently. I never thought I'd pay so much for something as simple as a flannel. However, as you can see here by this ultra heavy flannel blue tartan check work shirt that I'm wearing, I did just that. I paid full retail, $350 for this, purchased from Ironheart America's website back at the beginning of November. So I have had it close to 2 months now. And in this video, I'm going to endeavor to answer two questions. The first being, is this the best flannel? And the second being, of course, is it worth $350? I'm Patrick, and this is Rocky Mountain Style. Now, before I answer those two questions, I want to go over a few of the specs real quick. We won't go over all of them, but I want to call out a few things that make this shirt special or that portend to set it apart from others in the space. Now, the first, of course, is the type of cotton they use. Ironheart uses what they call Aspero cotton, which, according to their website, comes from the foothills of the Andes Mountains in Peru. And it grows on a tree rather than a normal shrub-sized cotton plant like you would see pretty much anywhere in the world. Now, according to them, that makes the cotton not able to be farmed or mass-produced, so it's more rare, and it has better properties that give it more strength and softness. So, unsure if that's really true from a material science perspective. However, when you wear it, you can kind of feel some of that, so we'll go with it for now. The shirt also uses really solid construction techniques. It uses double and single needle stitching where appropriate, and also uses felled seam internal construction, which generally speaking is a standard on most nice flannels. So rather than being something that differentiates Ironheart, I'd say this is probably something that just, checks a box and says, hey, if you're an expensive high quality flannel, you need to have this, and Ironheart does. The last thing I want to mention is the dyeing process for the yarns they use to weave these flannels. So Ironheart calls it cheese dyeing, which I had never heard of. Maybe if you're more into the fabric world, you have. But the basic process, as I understand it, is you have the bobbin, which is the thing the thread is woven around, and the internal core of that bobbin is perforated, and then they put that into a vat of dye, and using some sort of high pressure pump, they're able to either force or pull dye through those perforations in the bobbin. So instead of just yarn sitting in the dye and absorbing, by osmosis per se, there's actually a pressure that's pushing the dye through the yarn. Now, according to Ironheart, that gives them a more even dye, a more consistent dye, and more vibrant colors. And I'd say that's probably the main reason why when you look at one of these patterns up close, at least for me, it almost looks like you're looking at it in high definition. You know how some flannels can be a little bit hazy, and that's probably by design. But the colors are very crisp in the weave. It's easy to differentiate between the different blues and the greens and things like that in the actual tartan weave pattern. So big fan of that process. It's also single brushed on the outside, double brushed on the inside, of course. It's a really, really soft interior. I mean, you can probably see it on the camera there. There's a big difference in the hand feel for the inside and the outside. So again, really, really nice. And my general thoughts on the flannel are extremely positive. It's really comfortable and something that I'm having trouble quantifying. And I have no idea if you'll be able to tell here on camera, but just sort of the way it hangs. I know it's thicker. I do have some other flannels that are as heavy as this, but it hangs more straight. It's almost like armor in a way, if you think about it that way. When wearing it, it doesn't really wrinkle. I think I've probably worn this 3 or 4 times since I washed it last, and there's really no visible wrinkles per se. That's pretty unique in the flannels I own. Usually my flannels are super wrinkly on the bottom and in the back where I sit against a chair and things like that, but this one, for the most part, kind of maintains its shape, which I really like. Okay, so I planned this video to be fairly short, and I think I've probably hit that, so I want to talk about 2 questions. One, is this the best flannel? Well, without having tried every flannel on the market, including the other higher end flannels from people like, the Flathead or Studio d'Artisan, UES, which is a little cheaper, but still very nice. I can't definitively say it's the nicest flannel out there. However, I can definitively say this is the best and nicest flannel I've ever owned, and it's particularly not even close. I have lots of nice things from Relwyn and Imogene and Willie and several other smaller manufacturers that are less expensive, outer known. The Normal brand, Eddie Bauer, of course, Duluth. So, I mean, you've seen I've got a flannel series set of videos. I've done lots of different flannels. Double RL, I've got a double RL flannel. This is significantly nicer than all of them, and I think, I'm not even sure that's opinion. I feel like objectively it's just nicer. It feels better. I feel like it's constructed better, and I just like it better. So, I guess then the question is it worth $350? Probably not. No, I don't really think it is. So there's a lot of baggage that goes with, is it worth it kind of questions, right? And the first, of course, is what are your personal finances like? If you could buy this and it just goes on the credit card and you pay it off at the end of the month and you don't even think about it, feel free to buy one. It's nice to have really nice products, and it's nice to feel like you're wearing something that's in that sort of luxury tier. However, if money's a little tight, or if you're worried about other bills or worried about saving for certain things, trying to get out of debt, you can have a pretty similar experience, maybe 80 or 90% of the experience of this for half the cost with lots of other flannels. So if that's the case, I would urge you not to stretch your finances to get something like this, even though I do love it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fantastic. I won't be buying another one this year because we're already far into the winter, but I will be looking for 24 fall winter releases, and I'll probably pick up another one myself, to be completely honest, because I do like them that much. But I think I'd be a little disingenuous if I said I think it's actually worth $350. So again, just like any luxury product, buy it if you want it, buy it if you'll get enjoyment from it, but don't buy it because you'll think you'll get that amount of monetary value out of it, because to me, it seems pretty unlikely. If you disagree with those, please let me know in the comments. I'm looking forward to spirited discussion on this. And again, I'm not an Ironheart. I won't call myself an Ironheart fanboy. I'm definitely not an Ironheart expert. This is, like I said, my first Ironheart product, but I do love it, and I guess I'll just end it there. Thanks everyone for the time. Have a great day.